many of my students and many of my friends, many people that I train and that I converse with usually ask me the same question again and again and again. That if every node or every participant or every computer system that is on the blockchain is treated equally, then who exactly decides the rules? Or suppose my system says that X transaction has happened and your system says that Y transactions have happened. So how do we decide exactly what is happening in the blockchain? Because people will start propagating lies in the blockchain, right? For that, we have consensus algorithms. Now, consensus algorithms is only one part of the security solutions provided inside the blockchain systems. There are more security solutions provided. That is like public and private cryptography. So these things we can cover in, maybe these are very deep subjects, and we will have to cover them in a later session or something like that. Right now, let's just continue with this. So consensus algorithm is actually a mechanism which is designed in such a way that all the participants can reach an agreement about the status of a blockchain, which actually shows maybe X transaction has happened. If my node says X transaction has happened, and if some other part of the blockchain is saying no, this transaction did not happen, Y transaction has happened. At that time, consensus algorithm wins, or it is the system which helps decide what exactly is happening, or maybe what exactly is the finality of the status of the blockchain. There are three types of consensus algorithms already been implemented in different blockchains right now. The first one that started this all is used in Bitcoin, which is called as proof of work, also denoted as POW sometimes. So proof of work is something where every participant actually installs his own computational devices which compete with each other in finding solution to a very complex mathematical problem where there are no shortcuts. There is only one solution, and you just have to keep on guessing, or keep on solving to reach the solution. Once any participant finds out the solution which matches the pre-designed and predefined requirements for the answer, it actually submits those answers to the blockchain. And every other node can check whether that answer is correct or not. And whoever finds that answer gets to put the next block in the blockchain. So simply speaking, if you put in your computational power and you find the right answers and you put in the right transactions, then only you will be able to put the next block in the blockchain. And this takes place every 10 minutes in Bitcoin blockchain. And these times differ in different blockchains, but in Bitcoin it is around 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, the whole network is competing with each other to find that single answer. And that answer, when it is found, whoever finds, or whichever group finds that answer, gets to put the next block on, so that there is a consensus about the status of the blockchain. So this is called as consensus algorithm. And proof of work actually has one more thing tied up to it. It is called as mining. So whatever this is happening, whatever these calculations are happening in the network or at the node ends, there are different devices which actually compete. So those devices are called as miners, and people who actually do those things are also called as miners, like me. And miners have a very good, very different kind of benefit of finding those answers and putting those blocks up. So whenever any miner device, or maybe the individual or maybe the group of devices, wins this battle of mathematics, it gets to put that block up in the blockchain, and there is a reward attached to that block. Until recently, it was 12.5 bitcoins, 12.5 BTC were given to every miner who was successful in putting one block in the blockchain. And recently, around 10 to 15 days ago, the reward halved. So now it is 6.25 BTC every block. So there is huge amount of electricity that is required for this computational battle to go on, or for winning this battle. There are very specific devices that you need to buy and that you need to implement in a very different manner than the normal server rooms and normal computational devices. And there is a very sensitive price point, that is where this battle is being fought. So that is why the inventor of Bitcoin and the inventor of the other cryptocurrencies, they have actually matched these different mathematical races, and they have attached a benefit to the person who is working for the network, and they get to win those Bitcoin. So I assure you that this is not a simple thing to do. You need very high-end devices which are specifically designed only for that kind of work. You cannot start mining on your Mac, you cannot start mining on your PC, you cannot start mining on your Android or your iPhone for Bitcoin network, for Litecoin network, for Dash, Monero, Zcash, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic. For all these things, you need specific devices which are designed to do exactly that. Okay, so that is proof of work, and proof of work is attached with mining benefits or mining rewards. Second type of consensus algorithm is called as proof of stake. So proof of stake is something. Suppose if you consider Waves network, which is also a very good cryptocurrency, and in Waves network, if I have 1,000 waves and if I am ready to lock them inside a wallet, if I'm ready to lock it inside a wallet for specific period of time, it is called as staking. So I'm staking my assets inside a wallet. That's why I get to put the next block in the network. So this is a different one. In the first part, there was a mathematical race. In this second one, there is a race, but this is not exactly a race. This is like a lottery. If you put in your assets, you will win the lottery on a regular basis. So this is a different model. Many people who actually are supporting Bitcoin and supporting decentralization don't like proof of stake, because it is like making money because you already have money. So this model many people don't like, but I'm kind of neutral for it sometimes, and sometimes I don't like it as well. So third thing is proof of authority. Proof of authority is actually implemented everywhere. If suppose it's like signing authority, we have people sign on the certificates, then only it gets a meaning. Similarly, if you don't sign a check, the check has no meaning at all, right? No matter what kind of amount you have written, no matter who is the recipient of the check, it doesn't have any meaning. So similarly, proof of authority works. It is usually used in consortium blockchains and private blockchains, where a node is run by XYZ company. That is why it is given authority to put in new blocks. And maybe the other company, ABC, is not given the authority to put in the blocks, because it doesn't have the authority. It only has the authority to read the blocks. Okay, so this is called as proof of authority. Now the last thing, if you read, I am working on something called as proof of green for my own project. So this is a totally new consensus algorithm, and the idea is that proof of green means if some citizen, if some person who is actually a participant on my blockchain, and he plants suppose 100 trees in this lockdown, and if he can prove that he has planted those 100 trees, he will submit that proof to the blockchain, and blockchain will identify those trees, and it will average out what exactly is the emission that it will reduce, or rather what kind of CO2 it will absorb, and it will give some weightage to it and give cryptocurrency to the person who has submitted the proof. So this is called as proof of green. Maybe we can also do something. Suppose somebody buys an electric car, suppose somebody buys an electric bike, or maybe somebody installs solar panels on their roof. So these kind of things which are actually good for the environment, we are building a system, we are building a consensus algorithm for this, which will actually incentivize these green actions by the citizens, and so that they will get a piece of the carbon credits mechanism that is happening all over the world. If you want to study blockchain and cryptocurrency, you need to start with the source itself, where everything started. It was the Bitcoin white paper that Satoshi Nakamoto wrote. In blockchain technology, I provide blockchain trainings, I provide blockchain consultancy, and I help in research and development of new blockchains as well. In terms of cryptocurrencies, I offer a little more variety. I offer cryptocurrency trainings. I can help you in cryptocurrency mining. I can help you. I can give you advisory services. I can help you in research and development. I can help you if you want to start a company in this domain. I can also help you if you want to come up with your own ICO. I offer three different trainings for people who want to learn cryptocurrencies and blockchain domain. So first is blockchain crash course, which is 1 day training, complete almost around 6 to 7 hours sometimes. Then there is blockchain basics course, which is 2 days training, and there is ABC3, that is ABC of cryptocurrencies, which covers almost everything that you want to know about money and currency, the difference between money and currency, the history of money, the history of currencies, history of precious metals, and many things. How central banking works, how fractional reserve banking works, how money is created, or rather how currency is created. I cover all these interesting things in ABC3. Everybody who wants to join this session, who wants to be a part of that training, can get in touch with me. I will also share my contact details in the next slide. I also want to thank every single participant who has taken part in this. And let's move to the next slide, which has my contact details. I know this is a bit much, but I like to give as many options as possible to everyone, because everybody doesn't prefer Twitter or everybody doesn't prefer email. So these are all the things that you can get in touch. You can use to get in touch with me. First is my mobile number, WhatsApp. You can directly call me. You can reach me on WhatsApp. You can contact me on Telegram. Second thing on the left is my Telegram group, which is specifically for trainings, consultancy, and advisory and research and development. And I also share my regular updates on that group. You can simply go to Telegram and search for Shri Crypto, or you can directly go to the search engine and type t.me/Shri Crypto. Email address, I don't need to read that. LinkedIn, you can find me directly through this link, or just type in Shrikant Kulkarni. For Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and almost everywhere, I'm available on Shri Cool. SHREECOOL. That is that. Shri Cool. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you. I hope you stay safe at home. I hope you stay safe at office, and I hope you earn a lot of money and get into your group very soon. Thanks a lot.